Hello and welcome to the Let's Glow Show. It's Amanda Sweet, the Creative Fairy Godmother, and we're back this week with another awesome creative entrepreneur. We're talking about life, we're talking about business, we're talking about all the juicy things that come with all of those things. Today, we have a beautiful human, Breona Clawson. Welcome to the Let's Glow
Hi,
Show. How are you this morning?
I'm good and I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for selecting me to be on your live.
Of course. I'm really excited to talk to you because I feel like I don't know your origin story yet. Like I feel like we're just now starting to get to
Yeah,
know each other.
yeah,
And we've been in each other's worlds for about maybe less than a year, but a little bit. But I feel like we've just been working every single time we
yeah,
see each other.
yeah. Now it's time to have our coffee and chat, right?
Tell us all of the things. Like, what are all of your titles? Because I know you got several.
Sure, sure. So actually, I started my entrepreneur journey in 2018 and I launched an online boutique called Breezy Love Shop. And I started that because, a little side note, I have alopecia, so I suffer from hair loss. And I always found that at the time when wigs at that point weren't really like lace fronts and things like that, I was like, it just felt so wiggy. So I
Mm,
always wore a headband or some type of hair accessory. And I realized, well, I know that there's other people that may feel the same way. And so that's when I kind of launched Breezy Love Shop. And my mom has had me in hair accessories ever since I was a little girl. So it kind of just flowed together.
yeah. And
um,
I'm still doing that right now.
so I actually decided that Breezy Love Shop did its thing and it's time for it to, be put on the shelf. My marketing business keeps me so busy, more than full time. So I'm really happy to just kind of do that,
Mhm.
as well as creating my nonprofit that I'm working on.
Yes, let's hear about both of those.
Sure. So, Eloquent Digital is a digital marketing agency, and I help like entrepreneurs, nonprofits, and brands with that, bridging that gap of digital marketing. So, as you guys know, COVID just threw our world for a loop, and there's our older generation for the most part that have been doing the work for years and years, but they needed help getting onto that digital platform. So that is still a thing now that people
Yeah.
still need help. And so I'm here to be the vessel to help everybody. I love social media, love being on the camera, love figuring things out. So I wanted to share that with other entrepreneurs, brands, and nonprofits.
I love that. And then your nonprofit?
Yeah, so Women Empowerment Circle, which is now Women Empowerment Circle Group. I originally just started that off, funny thing, as just like a group for me and my entrepreneur friends. And we would just kind of bounce off like what vendor events are happening in the community. And then, like I said, COVID hit. And at
Mm,
that time, I didn't feel that marketing business was really like something I wanted to do. So I started
right.
talking about mental health, right? Something that I'm really passionate about. I used to work in behavioral health. I used to work with traumatic brain injury individuals. So I
Oh,
wanted to create a safe space so that we could talk about the things that we're going through in the midst of the pandemic. And that kind of just stuck. And I
mm,
realized, well, I'm back into this space again. What can I do to better impact the community? So I decided this year to create Women Empowerment Circle as a nonprofit. So I'm still in the process. I still have to get my 501c3. But the purpose is every month we do a meetup, right? And we identify a self care tool so that you can put that in your self care toolbox and you have that for your good and your bad days. And just really spreading awareness specifically to women on mental health and self care. So doing that.
I love it.
Busy.
I love the toolbox. Not only just a toolbox, but you said your good and your bad days.
You're good and you're bad because you have to celebrate small wins, big wins, acknowledge good days, bad days, all the things. So
I'm
yeah.
working with a somatic life coach right now. Her name is
Okay.
Mona. Shout out to Mona. And she was kind of saying, like, the more we practice on the good days, the easier the harder days are. So,
Exactly. Exactly. Because
how go for it.
because I think, and this is just my personal opinion, that we're so, and I say we as us women, we're so used to what do we need to do for you? What do we need to do for you? What do we need to do for you? That we forget about the things we need to do for ourselves. And yes, guilty, guilty, guilty.
Yeah,
Just like a natural thing for women. Like, that's just who we are as humans. And I think that there needed to be a space created where it's like, it's okay that you didn't get to that laundry bin today, or it's okay that you are upset or, not having a good day, but like, what tools do you have to help you through so the next day can be better?
right. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
I love that you're doing both at the same time because I feel like you can make some pretty massive waves for yourself
Yeah.
and for the people that you're helping.
Yeah.
You're seeing clients on the marketing side and you're like, you really need some more mental health tools.
Yeah.
Here
Yeah.
are some,
Yeah.
which is amazing. So,
Thank
okay, it sounds like you've always been entrepreneurial. Like,
uh,
what made you this way? Why are you like,
my parents
really?
are entrepreneurs. They have been ever since
Oh,
I've been born. They work in the healthcare industry, and just seeing their drive and seeing them grind out, even making it through the pandemic, etc. I think that's where I get it from. My little brother pretty much is an entrepreneur too. He's a
really?
musician. So it's like it's in our blood. It's in our blood.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what drew you in towards marketing, business, and women specifically?
I would say marketing. I just like I said, I've always had a love for tech in general, just all things techy. And then I realized that there are a lot of individuals like that are older than me, so maybe in our 40 and up club,
Yeah.
who are like, listen, I have this great business. I've been doing it for 20 something years, but I can't seem to figure it out. Like, what am I doing wrong? And it's like, it's because we got to get on that digital platform. And I saw that there were so many great businesses that were slowly starting to close. And it's like, whoa, let me figure out how I can help so they can stay in business. They can continue to still serving their communities. So that's kind
Hmm.
of where it came from. Breezy Love Shop, to be completely honest, and actually a really good friend of mine, Tara, brought this up because transparent moment, closing down Breezy Love Shop was hard because it's my
Yeah.
first baby. So you have these emotions of like, did I fail? Then you have the imposter syndrome, like all the things.
Yes.
It reminded me, like, no, that your baby did what it was supposed to do, and it actually opened up doors for you to do even more of the passionate things you want to do.
I love that.
So I'm really
That's
excited
real.
to see what's gonna happen.
Yeah. I love that conversation and I want to
Yeah.
chew on that a little bit because I feel like I'm going through that right now
Okay.
and I feel like I've gone through that throughout the course of my life. Like I like to try things. Like I'm a try person. Like let's
Yeah.
just see how it works. Let's try it out. Let's just jump
Yeah.
in head first before even like thinking about the consequences of things or the time commitment of things.
Yeah.
And so like one of those things I'm doing right now is the So Cute Craft Night, which you come to, which I
What?
love. And
What?
it's so much fun. It's a beautiful space, but it's so draining for me. And it
Mm,
shouldn't be. It should not be. And I'm learning quickly. So we've been doing it for almost 3 months now, which feels like a beautiful time frame. The year
yes.
is closing.
Yep.
I'm like, all right, great. This is a perfect time for us to end. I've met someone, Sarah Mark from the neighborhood art school, who does something similar,
Okay.
which I was like, perfect. This is a perfect segue for us to
Yeah.
take a break, transition these people over to this other community that has the capacity for it,
Yeah.
and then walk away. But I'm feeling so guilty. I'm like, oh my
Ah,
God,
yeah.
like did I fail? I'm feeling all of those feelings. Like
Yeah.
I failed them, I failed myself, like this should have been more successful, acting like it wasn't when it was.
It
You
was. It is. It
know, it
is.
is. It is.
It
And
is.
I'm just like, but all of those things are going through my mind.
Yeah.
So someone like me or someone in a similar position, like for me on my tool belt, I'm like, I had to learn to fail fast. 3 months is a beautiful time frame. It's a beautiful season. It did what it needed to do. And now it's time for it to end.
Yeah.
But like on the other hand, like how do I deal with those personal emotional like
Journal.
oh
Journal, because you got to get it out of here onto something so that you can read it and then you can reflect, right? I think that really helps me because, like you said, the emotions of like, oh my God, am I serving the individuals that have been coming to this to to a full capacity? Yes, you have and you are. And I think as an entrepreneur, especially in this age, there's going to be a lot of things that we start
Yeah.
and that is ready for it to be passed on to someone else, or maybe somebody's a little bit more elevated in doing the same thing, but you still created this segue for people to find that new thing or the thing that's already happening just on a larger scale. So I think you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
I think when looking at a big picture, really, it was like we're sewing and we're crafting, but really we're making relationships with people that we may not have ever really been in front of to become speaking from my
Right.
experience. So that's what I'm taking with me. So I
I
think you're doing
appreciate that. And I
it.
know it was a beautiful thing,
Yeah.
but it also was taking more from my personal energy
Yeah.
than I anticipated it to. And it takes up too much mental space and
Yeah.
it wasn't supposed to. So as an entrepreneur and a creative person, I had to say, like, it's time to put you down and or give it to someone else. One of our other crafters is going to keep going on Monday afternoons.
Okay.
So keep going.
Yeah.
But like, that is a real thing that happens. And I feel like we don't really get to talk about that. Like, it's not a failure. It's not like ending something, closing something, putting a bookend on something. It's not a failure. And it can be the door to the next big thing. So I really appreciate you saying that about
No problem.
it's real. That shit's real.
It is. And let's talk a little bit about like what is rebranding, because I think a lot of people get scared or weird about it. And I was like that person too. Like I was like, oh, if you rebrand, a lot of people again in our heads are thinking that didn't work out the first time, so you had to rebrand. When in reality, for any business, you should always have some type of rebrand going on at least every year. It
Right.
doesn't necessarily mean like you're updating your logo. It could just be like I'm rebranding my strategy because that strategy is already done. We did it and it worked, or
Right.
maybe it didn't work, and that's okay. So rebranding is really big because my marketing business, I was doing that within Woman Empowerment Circle, and it was getting so confusing, right? People are like, wait, mental health, wait, business,
Right.
what are you doing here? And it's like, in my head, I was like, no, I have to do both in this one platform because the title said so, right? And then I realized, like, with my husband's help, I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I feel like I'm not reaching people the way that I know I can because maybe I got too much going on. And that's been like my biggest thing is like my face is here, 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 and here. And people are like, so wait, what do you do? And then I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I shouldn't be worried about doing too many things. What I should do is just be very clear in describing what I'm doing in this moment when people are like watching a live or whatever.
Nice.
And
I love that. We're gonna okay. We're gonna rephrase that. We're gonna poke holes into that. We're gonna ask all the questions about that because your girl feels you. I get that all the time. They're like, what do you even do? Like and that's why I call myself the Creative Fairy Godmother, because I just walk into rooms, wave my magic wand, get shit done, and walk away. Like I am in a different room every hour on the hour. And so like I try not to put myself in that one bucket title, and I know so many other entrepreneurs, especially creative entrepreneurs, that are in a similar boat, and they're all in this mindset like I have to pick a thing.
You have to be in one niche and stay with that niche.
But I just feel like that's not the way multidimensional humans work, which is most of us, if not all of us. Like we all have multiple passions, we all have multiple things that we're working on. So how do you navigate that?
I think first step was getting out of the mindset that we were kind of like fed as like I'm a 90s baby. So the mindset was you go to school, you go to college, and that's the only way you can make a good, honest living. And then like this whole digital thing came about and you're like, wait, I can make money from home. Like I can make money showing other people's stories through video and pictures, like that's a thing. So for me, it was like I needed to retrain my brain to be like anything I do can be successful, not if I go to college, that's the only way I'll be successful. Because I'll be honest, I did not finish college, and a lot of people think I have a degree, etc., and I don't. And I think it just speaks to volumes of anybody can make any dream happen, just hard work and consistency, and obviously a solid support system, right? Those are
Ooh,
the ingredients that you need to have,
ooh.
in my opinion, a successful career.
That third piece,
Yeah.
people don't talk about. They
Yep.
say hard work,
Yep.
effort,
Yep.
energy,
Yep.
education, whatever the case may be, but people don't talk about support system.
No, and that's huge. Like, I have to give a huge, can you hear me, honey? I have to give a huge shout out to my husband because, oh my God,
That's who our husband.
where would I be without him? The conversations we have, that don't look right, Bree, or that looks really good, and you're doing your thing. Oh,
Yes.
yes, love you.
Oh,
So yeah, like that's huge. And my parents and
yeah.
my siblings, like things like not like my youngest brother to be exact for the most part. But
Mhm.
yeah, like having a support system, having entrepreneur friends, I notice is very important
Yeah.
because your like bestie doesn't necessarily jive with all the business stuff. So at times they're just like, yeah.
What?
You need to have friends, that do have their own businesses, so you can really have those conversations. And I always say, take one day out of the month. It's just like a you day for your business, and just think about where it is now, where you
Mhm.
want it to be, and then like what tools do you need to get there.
I love that, and we gotta shout out LaBrie Jones because we would not be here without him.
Yeah, so our partners are everything. They
Like, yeah, truly, like, I would not have graduated college had I not met Breezy. Like, I really met him right before like, right when I went back to school. I dropped out of school, like, 3 or 4 times,
Mhm.
and I met him, went back to school, and
Yeah.
he was on my head. He was
See?
like, "Are you going to class today?" Because I was a perpetual skipper.
Yeah.
I'd just be like, "I don't need to go." And he'd
Yeah.
be like, "You can't hang out with me. We can't go on our date until you leave class."
But
So
that
he
lets you know
go
what his values and morals were.
exactly. I
Which
was
is
like,
awesome.
"Ooh, he cares. He loves me."
Yes,
He would
yes.
help me with my homework. We would, like, hang out at his
Aw.
house, and he would draw, and I would do my homework, and I'm like, "This guy is really something else,"
Yep.
But, yeah, like, the partner thing, like, I always say that Breezy is, like, my co-founder for everything, even though he, like, doesn't claim any of it. He's like, "No, that's all you," and I'm like, "Yeah, but, like, you approve every single
Yeah,
post that I make. You look at every single piece of content that we create, like, all over it." The
yep,
friend thing too, like, I love that you said that because, my, like, homegrown friends, the friends that I've known my whole life,
yeah,
like, some of them are now finding their way into entrepreneurship,
okay,
but a lot of them are not. And I had a specific conversation with one of them that was like, "I just don't really want to talk about business stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, but like that's
who I am.
consuming my life. Like
Yeah,
it
and
is
that's okay.
yeah.
I do think, um, at times, I'll find myself shoving business stuff down people's throat, and then I have to be like, "Well, that's not for everybody," and I have to be okay with that, right?
Right.
Like, there might be someone else that's in an industry that I just like, if you came to me and you start talking about cars, I'd be like,
Uh,
"What?" It's just not my thing. But we still
yeah.
have to still have to recognize those cues of, "Girl,
Yes.
you're not listening."
Yes.
And it made no disrespect to you and your art and what you're doing. It's just everybody has an audience, and that person's just not in that audience, right?
Exactly. Exactly. So I'm glad that that friend told me that because now I can tailor my conversation with them better so that they are engaged. And, at first it stung a little bit. And I was like, that's me. That's who I am. I'm
Yeah,
surrounded by entrepreneurs. I live in this entrepreneurial world.
yeah,
Like, do you mean?
yep,
And it was a brief moment, but I was like, okay, like I know what we like. There are things that we can talk about and things that
yep,
we can do that are different than the business focus, but it's that. And I feel like there was a conversation that I was having a couple years ago where I got some like it felt like I brushed somebody backwards where I said like you
ah,
have to tailor your conversation to who you're talking to.
yeah,
They thought it was manipulative. From my perspective, that is like I'm catering to the conversation, I'm catering to the individual
yep,
and not like men specifically,
sure.
like just don't understand half of the things that I do.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the stuff that I do is like focused on women and people who identify as women or
Yep.
gender non-binary and
Yep.
like, but that is like my audience. And so sometimes I do get that like glazed over look and I have to be like, okay, so what car do you have?
Let me reel you back in real quick.
Right. Tell me about yourself. Like,
Yep.
let's refigure
Yeah.
this out.
But it's like it's interesting because like I genuinely enjoy meeting new people and I genuinely enjoy like seeing what everybody's just into because there are people that I meet that just genuinely like their job and that's
Mhm.
cool and I like
Yeah,
want to learn more about it, you know. I can't
absolutely.
sit at a 9 to 5 because that's just like I just can't. Like I have to be creative. Um, that's just me though.
And everybody's different. And I love that. And I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned from the 9 to 5 group too. And
Yeah.
I think like, especially in entrepreneurial conversations or YouTube video series, like a lot of people that are like making video content, well, at least in my particular world, I don't know if this is true for you, but I'm seeing a lot of content that's like, start your own business, make your own
Yep.
money, you need to be a
Yep.
millionaire, blah, 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 blah. Don't
Yep.
work for 9 to 5.
Yep.
There's a lot of this discord about not working a 9 to 5, but there's so many people that I know that have a successful living off of their 9 to 5 with a beautiful balanced home life,
Yep.
with personal hobbies that they do just for fun and not to monetize.
Yep.
And that's just cool. Like,
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
dope. I
but
think like for that, I think because again, like I think the pandemic had really shed a lot of light on what businesses are doing what they need to be doing and what businesses aren't. And I think that that like opened the gates for people to be like, wait, am I getting paid my self work at work? And
yeah.
you know, if I go to this 9 to 5, is it worth it?
Mhm.
Or those who are saying like start your business aren't telling people that you can start a business. That's you know anyone can do that, but are
Right.
you ready for the lifestyle that it brings? Because that's a whole that's a whole nother game.
Yes.
It's not for just being honest, is not for someone who isn't strong or has thick skin and who isn't scared to fall down and get back up several times.
Right.
And then the
It's the
business, like
inconsistencies. It's
that,
the like unknowing. Like Breezy will tell you all day. He's like, I like knowing that my paycheck is coming every other
yeah,
Friday. He's like, I like that. I never want that to go away. That's been my lifestyle my whole life. Like, I'm expecting a paycheck.
yeah,
And I'm like, that's totally fair. I
yeah,
understand. And I also work a 40-hour work week
yeah,
plus trying to
that's
build
all
this
it takes.
stuff.
Yes.
Not on the side. I don't even ever want to call it a side hustle because it's not on the side. It's like
Yes.
we're standing together and we're walking
Yes.
forward.
Yeah. Yeah. It's well, that even that kind of even leads us to like why it's important to have multiple things going because in today's economy, it's really hard to just have one stream of income.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, it's so crazy that we're in this type of you know economy, but it's
Mhm.
what we're at, and you have to really find all the things. Like I think of it like this: your talents really should just be a business if you think about it,
Mm.
because your talent is something that can help somebody in your community. So if you're into, you know, like for example, the whole Breezy Love Shop thing, that was like oh, my love for fashion, beauty, and hair accessories. Then there's like the tech. Okay, that's my marketing business. Then there's the I want to help my community on mental health. So there's my nonprofit. So really, your businesses and things and your things that you're going through should just be like extensions of your talents, right?
I love that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And then it stays fun and exciting, but there are ups and downs to all of it.
Yes.
There are some days where I'm like, when I saw that Adele meme that's going around, she was like, I don't remember exactly how she starts it. She's like, it's a beautiful morning. We're at 8 a.m., full fucking glam. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's me literally every Wednesday morning and
Yeah.
everybody that comes on this show. But I'm like, this is the time that I have available to do it because I'm working a full-time job.
Yeah.
So I'm just like waking up at 6 a.m. to get full glam and set
Yep.
up my lights, camera, action.
Yep.
Not necessarily the fun part, but getting
Yep.
to do this
Yeah.
with you
Yeah.
is my shit. So
Yes.
like
Yeah.
I'm willing to make it feel a little like do some of the stuff that I'm like, I don't necessarily
Exactly.
for
Exactly.
this moment right here, you
Yeah.
know?
I've met people who have great ideas for businesses, then that's like they forget that like you have to do all the things until you're in a place where you can hire out and contract out. And they're like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah, you are the photographer. You are, the person doing inventory. You are the person that's in the meetings. You are the person responsible for this, this, and this.
Yes.
And it's a lot. It really
Yeah.
is a lot.
I'm
But
gonna give some advice.
beautiful when you, like you said, when you make these connections like we are, and it's worth it.
And you close those deals. See, okay, this is where I'm at. And I'm saying this because I want to be fully transparent for the people that are coming along this journey with us. Like, a lot of people think I'm a full-time entrepreneur, and I am not. I am a full-time employee, and I'm doing my entrepreneur work in tandem with that.
Yeah.
Where I struggle, and I feel like where some of my other peers that are in the same boat, I work a 9 to 5 plus my passion job.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to like focus enough to lock in things that make me financial gain.
Yes.
So a lot of the things that I'm doing I'm an event person. I host events. That's what I do, and I'm also a community focused person.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly like, oh, we could do it for free. Oh, we don't have to blah, 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 blah. This like woman people pleaser thing that I got that I'm working through and trying to stop.
Sure.
Because I know my time is worth it. But like, what advice would you have for me, for someone in our boat? I'm thinking about your women empowerment circle. Like, what do you tell these people?
Yeah. So the first thing I think about is you have to keep your cup full of things that are going to keep you running. Like you have to remember that. Like I'm the cup, right? And I'm putting all these things in. Are the things that I'm putting in and it's going back out worth it? Is it speaking to my values and my morals and my missions within my business and my life?
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, it would be great to like set goals. So you know that have this project that you want to do, right? So we can use revamp, right? That could be
Yeah.
an example. So you have revamp, that's your baby, that's your thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming your thought process is always like, what's the next thing that we can do with revamp? What's the next thing that we can document that? Okay, last year, this is all the things I did with revamp. This year, here are the things that I did with revamp. Okay, 2024, I want to do another clothing swap, but what can I do to add onto that still jives with that mission, but then also still allows me to work my 9 to 5, right? So I think if you put it in that perspective, like little bite-sized pieces first instead of the big thing. And I do want to say, like, I know that you said that you're more of like get in there and do it.
Yeah.
There has to be an element of planning. And this is something that my husband has gotten me on because same way I was like, let's just do it. What's the plan? And I think the better you outline and set a plan, I promise you it'll flow so much better and everything will just make more sense and you won't feel so like pulled in all the different directions.
Yes.
That's probably how you feel, right? Like everywhere.
Yeah. Yep.
But the planning is going to be huge because you can set a goal, you can make sure that you have the tools to complete the goal, and then you measure it so that you can always have the same event every year, but there may be different levels to your event that you add on.
Yes.
So then that's kind of contributing to your growth. So yeah.
I think I need to do that because my body is repulsed by it. And the only reason why I say that is because my husband's been telling me I need to set some strategic goals. My mentors, shout out to Amanda Lawan, the owner of Bamboo, who's been mentoring me through a lot of my entrepreneurial passions, which is just shout out to her because as a leader of a business with an employee who's entrepreneurial, like she pours into those entrepreneurial passions of mine.
Yes.
Supports them, hears me out, gives me advice. Like I've never been in a scenario like that ever in my life.
I was going to say that it's really cool what you have. It's really hard to find that where
it's not
understands your journey as an entrepreneur and supports it.
And is pushing me
and wants you to be your best self. Like
absolutely.
Awesome. So, shout out to you, Amanda. I've never met you.
I know. Shout out to her because I remember telling her once that this was the last job that I was ever going to have where I'd be an employee.
Yeah.
And she holds me to that comment. She was like, what are we doing to set those goals?
Yeah.
So like, she gave me this advice last week to set myself some small and large goals. And here you are. And I'm sure if Breezy heard you say this, he would be like, what'd I tell you?
It's really important because if you don't have goals, then how do you know that you're growing, right? And this should be business goals and personal goals. Like me and my husband, we have family meetings, right? So it doesn't just stop at like your own personal, because I think there was a point where it's like we had our own goals, but we weren't talking about how that intertwines with both of us as a married couple.
Mm-hmm.
So setting those goals and then having an accountability partner, which your husband is your accountability partner all day.
Yes, he is.
Um, but
100%.
it's gonna give you that measurable feedback that you need in general.
I love that. And we
Yeah,
do magical marriage meetings. And I do strategic goal setting with my staff and my team
yeah,
at Bamboo. And I do it everywhere else in my life except in my business, which is like it's becoming challenging. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. And then I look back and we have 3 months of So Cute Craft Night. We've
yeah,
got 6 episodes of the Let's Glow show. We've
yep,
got 45 people registered for the Revamp Brand Ambassador.
yes,
And I'm like, not thinking about that because I haven't set it as a goal. And so there's this part of my brain that's like beating myself up, like, I'm not
sure,
doing enough. I'm not doing.
yeah,
So, yes, ma'am, I will do it. We're going to do a 2024 strategic planning.
yeah,
This is all of our like homies out there that are just get shit done people
yeah,
and people that just jump into the fire, like that energy. Never ever give that up. Jump into the fire of a strategic planning meeting.
yeah, yeah. It's
Gonna
super
be
important. It's super important, especially like, just remember when you want to start asking for funds from larger corporations, that's going to be their first. What have been your goals in your business? Have you met that goals? Can you show me the data to support that? So there's just things you got to think about, whether you're nonprofit or for profit. You still have to have that data.
Hmm.
Um, and I think you're doing really great. So
Thank you. I think you're
keep doing
doing so
your
great
thing.
too.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
glad
you.
that you're at Bamboo because I feel like
I
just
love
being
it.
around you more is just
Yeah.
so ooey gooey. Like every time I see you, I'm like, hey.
I like it. I was in a place where I was like, obviously, I like working from home, but
Yeah.
then I also noticed like I get distracted. So having the Bamboo as like my second home, if you will, my second business home, is
Mhm.
nice because when I need to get in there and get stuff done, it allows me to be a lot more disciplined. And then just meeting the people that I'm meeting every day is really, really cool. And then, of course, the aesthetics is really beautiful. The downtown,
Yes.
like it all just flows really well.
I'm so glad. I'm so
Yeah.
glad. Shout out to co-working spaces. I wish I would have known about co-working spaces before I started working for one because I would
Yeah.
have joined a co-working space when I lived in Texas. Like little did I know I actually interviewed on a podcast with a co-working space like 4 or 5 times and I didn't understand what
Sure.
they did. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, they're just like a place that does events for business people. But I was
Yeah.
like, looking back on it, I'm like, oh, that was a co-working space.
Yeah.
So
I've
funny.
tried
Uh,
other places. It's just not the same. I won't say where I tried, I'll be respectful, but
yeah.
I felt like it was just more of like, here it is, bye, where I got like this personalized tour from you. I got to meet everyone who's there and who's involved, and the space is just inviting, where other places felt very like, if you don't have a office, like,
Mm.
we're here, it's you can have an office, and if you don't have an office, it's just very inviting. Like, I like it.
So glad. Glad.
But
I
yeah,
will
this has
say,
been my best experience with co-working, uh, a co-working space. So
I'm
thank
so
you.
glad. I love working at Bamboo. I really do get to do a lot of the things that are in alignment with like who I am as a business professional. I get to work with people like you. Like you get to come up to me and be like, I get to be your husband for the day. Sometimes and we can talk it through. And a
Yeah,
lot of people do that with me. They come and they sit with me. They show me their Instagram. They show me their website. They show me some marketing that they're prepping to launch. We review their webs or their events coming up. Like this happens a lot. And so I feel like I get to like really work that muscle. And
Yeah.
I feel like if you're looking for a co-working space, find one with a team that you vibe with.
Yeah.
Because if you walk in and the staff that runs the space is willing to like participate in your journey with you, like then you know you found the right space.
Exactly.
Not every place is going to do that. If that's not what you're looking for, then obviously who cares what happens at the front desk?
Yeah.
But spaces at Bamboo, like Bamboo, for example, like we are engaged with people's businesses. We're connecting people with their future vendors and their future clients. And for me, even though it's not on the job description, it's a big, huge part of my job.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what makes people feel good. I'm like,
Yeah.
why would I not? I met somebody super dope like you, and somebody sitting over there that's super dope needs you, but you guys don't know you need each other. So why would I not take it upon myself to say, hi, you guys should be friends. Okay, bye.
Yeah. And that's a big piece of business is networking.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
you don't have a networking piece to your business, you're truly missing out, in my personal opinion. A lot of my clients I met at networking events or referrals from business to businesses or people who are just like, wait, you do what? Oh, I know someone. You should talk to them. And those are the best kind of relationships, in my opinion.
Mhm. How do you navigate networking events? Because I feel like a lot of people aren't particularly well, I hear a lot of entrepreneurs, especially like our introverted entrepreneurs, they just don't want to go to networking events. Like,
Yeah.
what advice would you have for
Well,
people?
first, really do your research because not every networking event is for you, and that's okay. Because I've gone to networking events and I'm like, why, why am I here?
Yeah.
Because what I have to offer really isn't something that the individuals here need or want, or there's already someone in that space doing it.
Mhm.
So research what it is. Two, start for stuff that's in your own city.
Mhm.
That's huge because you really want to make a name and have your brand really, really pronounced in your city. Another thing is come with an objective. So if you know that you are looking to expand your brand in that territory and you're just looking to just get your name out there, come with your business cards. Hand out your business card to every single person in that room. And have in your mind a small pitch because nothing's worse. And I used to be that person like, well, my business is well, it's like and I help people and I do the things. Like you can't say the things because not everybody knows what that means. Or,
Yeah.
you have to be prepared to have a conversation about your business. So a lot of people struggle with that. And I
Yes.
always say, start with your mission statement and then flow with that. Like your mission statement should be able to tell everybody what your business is.
What's
I'm
your mission statement?
Yeah. Wait, what?
I'm wondering, what's your mission statement? I want to know.
So for Eloquent Digital, my mission statement is very simple: is I help brands, entrepreneurs, and nonprofits bridge the gap in digital marketing. Boom, that's it.
Hmm.
And when people say, "Oh, digital marketing," then that's when you go into, "Oh, I do social media marketing. I do virtual assistant services. I do consultant." And then I always throw it back. Well, tell me about your business. Oh my God, my
Yes.
cat. You see that?
Nowhere.
Right there in the window.
I
Oh,
can't see him.
right there.
Oh. Oh, hey. Standing up.
Sorry. But yeah, like that's so
Great.
important. I think a really big thing with networking though is when you get all those business cards, what do people do with it?
Right.
So one thing I would say is at the end, if you do a networking event during the week, try and take the weekend to then reach out to all those people by simply just saying, "It was nice to meet you. Here's a little bit more. Here's my links if you want to learn more," and just keep it at that.
I love it.
Yeah,
My whole thing with networking events, because I'm doing it constantly, we
yeah,
host a lot of networking events at Bamboo. So not only am I hosting, but people are like, come down, come talk. So I have to be Bamboo and
yeah,
Amanda Sweet and the Creative Fairy Godmother and the founder of my businesses,
yeah.
kind of all wrapped in one.
Yes.
And I have a general like mission statement.
Yeah.
I always try like I had some advice for one of our members because he was very, very shy, but
Okay.
he had a really good offer for small businesses.
Yeah.
Um, and he's like, I'm trying to figure out what my like small pitch is. And my advice to him was like, make it something they can ask questions about that people get excited about. And for
Yeah.
me, I'm the Creative Fairy Godmother. And that raises questions already. People are like, what's that?
What is
Like,
that?
the reason I use that is because it makes people ask more questions. And the people that are not into it are immediately turned off. And those are not my people.
Yep.
Like, it's very clear right away.
Yep.
But when they ask, I say, I help people get fly, make friends, and save the world through events. And people are like, what does that mean? Or they pick a thing that they're excited about. And this we'll use an example of like the wizard. So like he was a business advisor. And I was like, but what do you actually do for people? And he was like, well, some people call me like a business wizard. I was like, how about we call you that? So when people ask you, you say you're a business wizard. And he was like, isn't it like it's not like formal enough? And I was like, it'll make them ask questions. We're people. We're humans. So just like a good movie, we need a good people to be like, oh, what is that? Like, oh, now I'm engaged because I need to know what a business wizard does. Then you can add your more specific things that are a little bit more professional or polished or not. Because reality is at networking events, everybody's uncomfortable. Everybody feels weird. Everybody's
always awkward.
Everybody's nervous. Every single person that walks into a networking event is nervous that they're going to say something silly, that they're going to do something weird, that they're not going to meet anybody. Everybody's here to make friends. And that's why I try to tell people, I'm like, if your objective is to make friends, then you will not lose.
Yeah. That's that's the perfect way to say it. That is the perfect way to say it. Like, just breathe.
Just take a breath.
Say hello. Don't forget your name.
Exactly.
Hello. And yes. Said people who generally want to learn more will ask questions. They'll follow you.
They're there to do that.
Handle you give them. So yeah. I used to, I'll be honest, I used to hate networking. I used to be like, oh, I gotta like find someone to talk to. Now my attitude is I walk in and I'm like, hi everybody.
Exactly.
And whoever wants to come and talk to me after that, that's kind of how I try to set it up.
I love that. So have you ever heard of the book How to Talk to Anyone? So I just read that book, How to Talk to Anyone, 92 tips to talk to anyone. I'll have to figure out the name of the author. Amazing book. Amazing. It's like one of the sections is about like how to enter a room where it's like addressing everyone and not picking and choosing. If you're addressing everyone or versus picking and choosing, like that's a very different approach to walking in the room, and it sets a tone. So if somebody walks in and sees you walk in, greet everyone, they'll feel comfortable coming to you because you're open. If you scan the room and pick and choose who you talk to, you're coming off closed off. You know, it's not intentional. Possibly it's probably because you're feeling nervous. But a couple of the tips that she said is like, if you see something on someone's body that you like, say something. That is my like go-to like fashion. For me, I'm like, I hone in on it. I see some cute shoes, I'm gonna say it. I see a cute hat, I'm gonna say it. And it's called, I think she calls it a what's it? So it's called a what's it. So exactly. So I'm intentionally putting on a fuzzy ball earring so that somebody comes and it's a conversation starter. So I'm making your life easier by wearing a fuzzy ball on my face. So you can be like, I like your fuzzy ball. And I'm like, okay, what's your name? Like, that's part of the game. It's part of the game, and it makes it easier. So 92 tips on how to talk to anyone.
That's a good one. I'm a big reader. I have a book club that I started like, has it been a year or two? I haven't kept up, but we reread one book per month. It's part of Women Empowerment Circle group because as much as we can talk about mental health, we still need those social groups.
Yes.
And that's one of the social groups is book clubs. So maybe we should put that in there.
What's your next book?
Well, we just read, or we're reading, I should say. I already finished it, but it's called The Coworker by Frida McFadden. So we read thrillers, mysteries, and suspenseful books.
Okay.
And we're kind of obsessed with this author right now. So we've been reading all of her books. So I'm hoping our next book is another one from her because she's got quite a few.
I love that.
I love it.
It's already been, it's almost 9 o'clock, Brianna.
Oh, it is.
How did we do that? I'm like, we didn't even get to talk about mental health.
I
We're gonna have to have
know.
you come back. We're
Yes,
gonna
let's
have you
do
come
it.
back.
Let's do it.
I am so, so grateful for you. This has been
Thank
so
you.
much fun. The time just
Went
flew
by
by.
fast. Yeah.
Amazing. So tell everybody how they can find you and where they can engage and interact with you.
Yes. So a couple of different places. It just depends on what you want to resonate with as far as the content that I create. So my personal page is all things Bree, and that's where you'll find more of like me and my personality. So like cooking, dancing, like that type of stuff.
Going to
Uh,
restaurants.
yes, yes.
Yep.
I'm really trying to do more of personal branding. So if you guys are interested in that journey, that's where you can find me. And that's on all platforms, all things Bree. If you're interested in kind of learning more about ways to increase your online presence and just business tools and things like that, you can follow me on Eloquent Digital Marketing, and that's on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok and LinkedIn. I'm always doing something to help educate everybody because there's a lot of power in having your business online. Um, if you want to follow my journey, I call it my mental health journey because it doesn't stop ever. It's a continuous thing. If you want to be a part of that and learn tools, you can find me on Woman Empowerment Circle Group. Again, on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So grateful for you.
Thank
This
you.
was so much fun. So
Yes.
y'all gotta follow Breona. She's doing all kinds of amazing, beautiful things around the city. She's also one of the Revamp brand ambassadors. So shout out to that. Um,
Yes.
I'm gonna do something new this week, and we're gonna keep this going.
Okay.
So I'll give a couple quick updates about what I'm working on.
Okay.
So we got the revamp coming up February 10th. It's gonna be at Bamboo Royal Oak. This is the first time I'm saying it out loud. We finally locked it in. So shout out to Bamboo one more beautiful time. Our last So Cute Craft Night is next week. So come through. We got some vision boards. I'll do my 2024 strategic planning
Yes.
at that session. A couple other things, the Empower conference next year, I'm going to be emceeing. Use code Amanda to get $10 off your ticket. It's a beautiful women empowerment conference. It's a slumber party, so it's 2 days full of amazing activities. Brianna, you should totally come.
I'm there.
I'll give you all the details. I think you're going to love it. And it's pink, mandatory, required. Like you have to wear pink.
I'm in.
So you already know. And then the final update for this week is I'm officially a UGC creator for Puffy Slippers. Puffie Slippers on Instagram. Use code SWEET for 20% off. I've been waiting for a brand like this. It's like, I don't know if you see me walking around the office in those slippers, but
That's awesome.
time.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And
So you guys,
people like give her, like, you guys have to give her a big round of applause. It's huge. It's very hard to find those types of brands to do those deals. So congratulations.
I'm really excited, and I really, really like the product. Like,
Yay.
I am their perfect target audience. I saw their ad; they had 0 engagement, and I was like, "Buy!"
Yeah.
Like 100 followers at the time, and I was like, "Buy 2 pairs." And
Yes.
then I wore them out. I tagged them. They reached out immediately. They're growing really, really quickly. So shout out to Puffy Slippers. Shout out to Demery with Empower. Shout out to Bamboo. Shout out to you, Brianna. Shout out to everybody watching. I'm so grateful for all of you. This has been amazing. This is the Let's Glow Show. We talk to dope creatives every Wednesday morning. My name is Amanda Sweet, the Creative Fairy Godmother, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.